And we're live. We are live. Dude, live 36. I am joined by the man who was voted number 2 most handsome man in Australia. He was only beaten in voting by Thor, who is Chris Hemsworth. Damien,
Rigged.
the most
That's incorrectly, Josh. They need to re-poll, recount.
We have a lot of fun topics today, man. We'll be talking about yesterday's fight. Jean Silva loses to Diego. Dude, amazing 2 rounds, dude. Maybe the best 2 rounds of the year. What's going to happen to their cards? We'll talk about that. We have 25 Topps Knockout coming soon. We'll talk about like pricing, which cards we like from there. We'll talk about that for a little bit. UFC 322 is stacked. We'll check out Weili and Bullet rookies. We'll talk about their pricing, talk those matchups. We got viewer questions about how we display our cards and agree or disagree. The White House event is happening. It's official, Damien. We got some more details. We'll talk about that. Will it be the most influential event of all time? Damien, thanks for coming on, dude.
Well, I can't answer that question yet because I can't ruin the segment. But yeah, going good, man. Obviously, this is early Sunday morning. This is early Monday morning for those of us in Australia. So we are making this work for you Americans. So I hope you all appreciate it. So you better be pushing that like button straight away for Zach's channel.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. We're trying, a little different time slot this time just to see what will happen. Should be a good time. We're going to have fun today. Also, we got a new segment this week. The new segment is called Rookie Radar. Let's see if this graphic works. Yeah. The power of quantum computing. Beautiful. I think it worked. I think it worked.
You had Elon over for some drinks on the weekend, obviously.
Yeah. All right, man. So we had Jean Silva, probably the biggest chase of 2025 up until last night, right? So my question, Damien, as we go into this, what did you think of his performance last night?
It was like he got dominated, obviously, in the first round. Diego taking him down and pretty much had him in full mount for all of 5 minutes. Just beat the crap out of him with those 12-6 elbows, which really is a game changer at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of ground and pound and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously got back out of it towards the end of the round and was not too phased. Looked good into round 2, starting round 2. Got careless though. But good performance, good, as you said, definitely one of the fights of the year candidates, even though it was relatively short. But I think he looked good, but he just got careless, man. He's obviously a reckless dude. A little bit, when it's you had to think he went away from the game plan, and that's obviously what endlessly cost him the fight. But very good fight, entertaining for us fans at least. And I think there's not too many people who are going to be too down on Jean Silva moving forward. But Diego Lopez gets it done, and credit to him.
He's back, dude. He's back in the title mix, and I'll pull up a couple things here just so we can check it out. So I actually have the finishing sequence here, and we'll see. Hopefully this doesn't incredible, dude. Incredible finish. And before he got finished, Damien, he was putting it on Diego, and this is one of those where that was a Hail Mary shot. That was a Hail Mary shot. Now, obviously, they practice this all day long. They game plan for it all day long. I'm not saying it was lucky. I don't like that term lucky. But it was a Hail Mary shot, and it did take a devastating weapon like that to put Jean Silva down. Here's the pic of him after the fight, dude. Just beat to hell.
He was beat.
Beat to hell. I mean, look at that knot right there.
But you're right. He was cracking Diego. I think he even wobbled Diego a couple of times there too and was looking good. But yeah. Yeah, great fight. And as I said, I don't think that although it does hurt Jean Silva in terms of him moving towards the title, I think most of the fans will still be behind him. And obviously we'll talk about his cards in pretty much right now, yeah.
Yeah. And here was the first round. Dude, in this sequence in the first round, I really thought it might be over. And I was like, I hope this isn't over. I really thought this was going to be a fun, competitive fight back and forth. And then in this sequence, when he hit him and cut him on the top of the head, and you could really tell Jean Silva was really, he did not want to be there anymore and trying to get out of this position. I was really scared it was going to get finished. But I'm glad we at least got a super exciting 2 rounds. Let's talk about, well, first let's get to the chat, dude. I haven't even talked to the chat yet. Let's talk to them, and then we will get into some card pricing with Diego Lopez with the rookie Is he still the rookie of the year? We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Jean Silva. So let's check everybody out up in the chat. If you're watching, hit that like button. If you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. Jam, I am ready for this one. Fighting nerds, what? Dude, yes. Great point. I mean, what are we talking with the fighting nerds, man? I mean, we've seen Protest lose. Now, he did have a good performance coming off. We saw Kyle in like a really competitive fight, but he did lose as well. Jean Silva loses also, dude. Rufy got dominated by BSD. What do you think about the fighting nerds right now going forward?
I think it hurts them. Obviously, any team that goes, well, one from four in their last 4 appearances across those 4 fighters, it doesn't bode well in terms of how they were doing, what trajectory they were on. And I think it's going to take them. I think this, even for the casual fan, I think this does hurt their team stock overall. You said there were very close performances, still entertaining performances that people want to watch. It's not like they edged out a decision like a Marab or, Hamzat laying on the opponent to get for the win. But even still, you can't have a record of 1-4 for your team's performances and not have some sort of effect. So I think it's going to take some time for them to get a bit of that hype back that they had, leading up to this point.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about like all these guys are basically in the upper echelons of the division, right? I mean, you're talking about Jean Silva losing a close fight to a guy that literally took Volk 5 rounds. I mean, that's how good that the guys are that they're fighting. I mean, now maybe you could say, I think personally the worst loss was Mauricio Rufy, who kind of looked like a fish out of water when he was on the ground. He kind of got dominated. But like Kyle losing to Imavov, I mean, that was basically a title contender fight. Like whoever wins that may get a title shot. So like these guys are fighting the best of the best at this point. To me, a loss like this doesn't necessarily, I mean, maybe you get a slight dip in their pricing, but like personally with a performance like that, he did look like he could be a guy that could hold the belt one day, in my opinion. Let's check back on the chat, see what else we got going down.
I agree with those sentiments too, Zach, but I think you're a little bit more than not a casual fan. So I'm just saying from the casual lens, which actually obviously affects fighter popularity overall, that's not going to be how it's sort of, yeah, I mean, how it's going to be looked at.
Definitely true. And you know how it is especially with people that are card collectors, man. You get one loss, they're dumping you, dude. They are dumping you. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with the card pricing. But personally, I hope that not too much changes on Jean Silva because he did have, a pretty good performance there. Hey, man, we got Musical Medicine. Big fan of the page. We'll be sharing your page, shouting you out on our show, MMA on MME. I'll be live during the Contender Series. Check it out. A little product placement from Musical Medicine TV. Thanks for watching, man.
Get it in while you can.
Yep. Fair play. We got Peter Anderson. I missed my parlay, hit by 2 insignificant strike on Jean Silva. 2 strikes, dude. That is so close. And this is a lesson to you. Stop betting parlays, man. I can't believe so many people bet parlays. It is such bad odds. Just do the money line. Do straight up. You think somebody's going to win, do the straight up money line. I can't believe how many people, especially, Matt, Golden Octagon out there, he's the sharpest of the sharp when it comes to betting. And even he's missing all these parlays. Dude, if Matt can't get the parlay, nobody can. So quit betting parlays.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's why MMA is just that one Hail Mary spinning elbow and, the fight's over type thing. So that's why betting on MMA, I think, is just a terrible idea in general. Never served me well. And, don't recommend it. Buy cards instead.
Buy cards instead. We got a question here from Peter again. What's your guys' opinion on the White House card? Do you think Conor deserves the main event? Do you trust Jones to stay healthy? What matchups would you guys like? Dude, you are at the right show, man. We are going to be getting to that in a little bit. We're going to continue on talking about Jean Silva and Diego Lopez, but I promise we will be talking about that, and I'm excited to talk about that also. And Damian, I wanted to just kind of go down a little rundown of these guys' pricing, right? Because you've got to expect with the massive chase that Jean Silva is, that we may see a slight market dip. Maybe the hype doesn't continue. I could have seen if he finished Diego or if he had a really big win, maybe you see him bump a little bit more. I would imagine his pricing either at the very least drops slightly or it stays where it is. Hopefully it doesn't completely crater. But we did have some pretty big sales from him, and these are all pretty recent. All of these products are fairly new as well. What do you think as far as like some of these buys. Like if you had bought this, would you be super sad? We got a nice RPA here, good little two-tone patch. Looks to be maybe a Venom. Gold 3 of 5 for 2,400. Do you think the upper end is going to be affected, or what are your thoughts in general with that loss?
I think this is where it comes down. For me personally, my personal opinion, this is where it comes down to sets. So if I had paid 2,300 or 2,400 for an out of 5 Chrome card for Jean Silva, I wouldn't be sweating too hard. But when you're getting down the line in terms of releases, priority of collecting, overall sentiments, as I said, me personally, I would be feeling pretty sick in the stomach if I had bought this midnight card. But in saying that, this is not a card that if you would ask me, would I purchase? I wouldn't purchase anyway. So as I said, that's where it gets very individual. But as I said, my overall thoughts is I wouldn't be too worried, but it's depending on what card and what your reasons are for holding that card. And as I said, if I was to be buying a Jean Silva card, I would be looking at the Chrome releases. And if I was holding one of those and I don't think I'd be too upset. Like obviously this does hurt, but it's not like it's the end of Jean Silva's UFC run or his hype, because he is a very interesting character. He was getting, if anyone who's familiar with WWE, he was getting the Bron Breaker, dog barks as he come out of the tunnel. That stuff is that stuff's awesome. I sort of enjoyed that theatrics of that as well. And those sort of fighters, they tend to do pretty well in terms of fan viewing. And as I said, he's only 1 or 2 fights away from getting back probably the level of hype that he was, because this isn't a title loss as well. Obviously, this is a stumble to the title block, but he's only one or two wins away from getting another title shot. And if he can do it in the fashion that he was leading up to this fight, he's going to be back with the dogs barking in the crowd. And as I said, I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a do-or-die fighter. He's a guy that people are going to want to watch be in the octagon. I mean, we saw it. Like, he was putting it all on the line. He got damaged. He was able to keep going. He was throwing bombs. He was looking for finishes. Damian, which I think is what everyone wants to see when they're in there. And like you said, him getting in Buffer's face, like, during the announcement was so funny to me. It looked like him and Buffer were in a stare down, and they were about to throw down as Buffer was announcing him. It was hilarious. The guy's antics are fun, and as well as his skills in the cage are fun as well. But Diego with the big win, right? I mean, massive win. I think personally he should be getting the title shot against Volk after that performance. I think he should leap Murphy. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think Murphy did enough? Do you think we should see Diego too? Is it recency bias, which I definitely fall into sometimes? What are your thoughts?
2 spinning elbow knockouts. Obviously, they both have equal cases. Diego, like I mentioned this when we were talking about it with Matt from Golden Octagon. I think people were sleeping on Diego for this fight. You said it yourself. You can't go 5 rounds with the greatest featherweight of all time in like he wasn't sort of, as I said, completely dominated. He did have his moments in that fight with Volk as well. Diego Lopez sort of got forgotten about. And what I liked about this was a battle of the 24 and 2025 rookies. Yeah. And Diego came out on top. Could he, as I said this as well, regardless, he got the win. He got a very nice win as well. Exciting fight. If he gets the next title shot over Leron Murphy, I don't think anyone will be mad at that. I do think the UFC give the fight to Leron Murphy just for a fresh matchup. I think Volk would be more interested in that fresh matchup. And I sort of thought about this yesterday when getting ready to watch this fight. Whatever happened to the Yair Rodriguez and Diego Lopez beef? Because that was heating up. Yep. Seems like that got put a pin in it, so I'm not sure what's happening there. But obviously that could be a fight that could be the next title contention as well. Those two can battle it out while Leron and Volkanovski go at it.
Man, I personally, while I completely understand and agree that, Yair and Diego would be a fun matchup going forward, I do not want to see Diego fight another fight unless it is a championship fight. I mean, he took Volk a hard 5 rounds, and he honestly had some good momentum going into the end of that fight. He started pretty slow, but like there towards the end, I was like, he could definitely land a bomb and maybe even, finish Volk. And Volk did a great tactical fight, and obviously he won. But I don't want to see Diego in another fight unless it is a title fight. Now, how far is that timing wise? Like maybe, you're talking 6 months to a year. Maybe you're right and he should go ahead and step up. But definitely exciting, like you said, to see the 2024 rookie and the 2025 rookie, some of the biggest chases from those years going head to head, putting on an amazing performance, man. And really, really, really fun event as far as the main event goes. And Damian, let's get back to the chat, and then we'll talk about 2025 Topps Knockout here in a second. Let's see. We got Matt. Matt's in the house. What up, fellas? Noche. Yeah, Matt was in the building, I believe. Noche was fun. Yeah, currently in Atlanta, waiting to go home. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Matt's down the street now, dude. He's in San Antonio. He's about 90 minutes away. Yeah. So he's a Texas boy now. We're definitely. I'm trying to meet him at the Austin Card Show, which is, I think it's mid-October. So hopefully we can meet up there. And then, get a table or something, hang out. Maybe we'll be the only people in the building with UFC cards for sure. So,
no, I think you could do a signing. It'd be you and Matt, the two giants colliding on YouTube. I think you guys set up a table and get some sign. You get people coming in for autographs and photos. Man, you all have the busiest table there. Get it done.
I appreciate those kind words, and speaking that into existence. Maybe in a few years maybe that's possible. Now, don't think that would happen, dude. Don't think it. Let's see. We got Jim. Don't bet on MMA. Yeah, man. I mean, fighting in general is tough. We had Crawford Canelo last night. I'm sure there's millions and millions of dollars spent on that. But when you're talking about MMA, it's even a different beast, and it's so much more chaotic. Oh, good point here from Matt. He's like, I think the people that bought the custom autos are going to be even more mad when he's referring to fighting nerds and Jean Silva. Yeah, man. I mean, we know how dangerous it is for rookie prospecting in general, right? And, maybe when you're talking about unlicensed things like that, to me, it adds a little bit more risk as well. So depending on the price point, it's always a gamble. It's always a gamble when you're prospecting. But I do think that all of these guys, still have a bright future. And I would not be surprised, to see them with more success in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And I said you had that great video with those boys on from the company who did the quad auto. So people should watch that video just for an interesting insight into card manufacturing a little bit.
Yeah, man, they got some new stuff coming. I think they're going to continue, to have some interesting, fun cards that I think people are going to want. Let's see. All right, let's get one or two more, and then we'll get back to it. Musical Medicine TV. I think they are here to stay regardless. Long-term value could be there for all of them as far as popularity and longevity. Yeah, man. I mean, this is a small blip, right? And it's a small sample size. Is this the time to buy, Damian? Like, if you're a Jean Silva fan, maybe this is the time to buy. Well, what do you think about that?
I would agree with that. I think the time obviously we're only not even quite 24 hours away from the event happening. So I think you'd let it settle for a couple of days, maybe leading into the week, see what's happening with these prices. Is it actually dipping? Is it staying the same? This is the other thing too. There may even be the case where the people who have bought the bigger and more collectible Jean Silva cards, they're not going to sell them now. Who would sort of run from them? A lot of people might want to hold on to those. People are getting a bit smarter with that sort of thing. That's certainly what I would be doing if I was holding anything like that. But as I said, give it a few days, a week to see what's happening with the Jean Silva market. And yeah, if it does dip, I mean, I think this would be the time to buy for sure, because it's fair to say anyone else other than maybe Diego Lopez and, as I said, Volkanovski, Jean Silva probably gets them out of there. I mean, Jean Silva is clearly a high caliber fighter. He's very exciting, as we were just explaining as well. So I think this is, as I said, just a little bump in the Jean Silva's career, but he definitely gets back to the title within the next sort of 18 months, I say.
Yes, sir. We got NFT starts here. What's up, dude? What's up, guys? I'm still a fan of Silva. Did you see his stare down with his wife before he walked in? My wife would kill me if I did that to her, laughing emoji. I thought that was hilarious as well, man. I was like, you could, it was so bizarre. The guy is just like, he's just an interesting person. And like you were saying, with characters and with WWE and storylines, like he's the type of guy that I think a lot of people are going to gravitate to because he's different, because he's wild, because he's unique. I was going to say weird, but unique. He's a unique individual. Yeah, I completely agree, man. All right, so we're going to talk about Topps Knockout, and let me hit y'all with this new graphic, dude. Let's see if this one works. This is the countdown for all of these. 2 for 2, baby. We're 2 for 2 on the graphics. Absolutely sick. Damien, we got Topps Knockout, man. Knockout is coming, and it sold out immediately from Topps, $229.99. What do you think about the price? Well, you know, when compared to other products that we've had this year, do you think this is good at $229.99? And then we'll talk about how it's also reselling already for way higher. What are your thoughts on the pricing?
Pricing point, I think it's close enough. Like, I agree with you. You know, you mentioned in your breakdown and you check leak of this video, I think it should be around the 200, maybe 210. But obviously to get 229, we're not far off that. It's not like we're pushing up to 250 or whatever on terms of releases. Obviously that's going to be a different thing when we're talking about resale, but obviously a little bit more expensive. But I think we're somewhat, as I said, we're not too far off. I think 200 would have been the ideal price range. I like Knockout. I know most people didn't rank it very high, but I would have said that of all the products that I saw last year, maybe I'm a little bit biased because it was the first release with on-card autos last year in 2024. Obviously, we've had on-card autos throughout every release so far for 2025. But if I was to pick a card now, I'd say that Knockout was my favorite release of 2024. So I good to see it back. It was a surprise to everyone, I guess, who was talking about it. We all thought that Stadium Club was up next, but Knockout's next. So now we get to the fun of the reselling of boxes. Yeah,
man. And look at this. Damien, look at this. So we said the price from Topps was $229.99, right? Look at this. Look at this, dude. $374.95. This is from Dave and Adams, Damien. This is not like an eBay. This is their pre-sale. I think this is absolutely nuts, and I don't understand why they price it this way, because you can go on you can go on eBay and they're selling for, $310, $350. So I have no idea why they're pricing it at $374.95. And last year it was $279, which I thought was way too high, but $374 doesn't make any sense at all. Like, why do you think they're pricing like this? And also, why do you think Topps is only letting so few people get the box from the Topps drops? It's estimated 500, maybe around 500 were sold. Why do you think they're doing that? What's up with this resale pricing?
So I'm actually preparing a video to talk a little bit about this, because Michael Rubin earlier on in the year, he was on a content creation video with American Legends Collectibles, and he was talking about the allocation of product, at least how it has been for Topps. You want to hope that they're going to be fixing this, but it was 40% was going to breakers, 40% to hobby stores, and 20% retail. So I think that sort of points the finger at why we are where we at when it comes to especially these pre-orders. There's just not enough that's available, and people are taking advantage of it. And honestly, I think it's depends where you're at, right? If you're a flipper and you're using your hobby to make money, great for you because it's working. A markup of 30%, even from a massive retailer like David Adams. As I said, I actually think that's great. I think one thing for people on eBay to be putting these up at $350 and making $100 per box, but someone like David Adams, who should be having really good allocation, to be putting such a high markup, I think that's criminal. Bad for collecting, terrible for collectors. I think this is going to turn a lot of collectors away. And obviously I'm not chasing new product. And this is, to be honest, this is one of the reasons I think this is dirty. I don't like it. Yeah. And as I said, unless you're doing it for the money, then there's no other reason why you would, because this is, I think this is definitely a bad sentiment for collectors. And I think it's going to turn a lot of people away, as it should. It's just ridiculous. And then you want to talk about, even trying to buy products on the Topps website at release, that they get sold out within, 10 seconds. It's all, obviously automated bots, people, it's just set up to be rigged for the average collector, which is the average collector is the people who you want to be keeping happy. But no one cares about that at the moment. It's all about money.
Yeah, man. So I was really sad when I saw that, because like you alluded to, David Adams, they should be somewhat of a reasonable price. And I understand, you want to mark it up a little bit. I understand they're companies, they should make money, but that is an insane markup, dude. Insane markup. So I was sad when I saw that. But we are getting Knockout October 3rd is the potential release date that I saw. And again, I say potential release date because they pushed it back many times, right? Who knows when it's actually going to come out. But I asked Damien, I was like, Damien, what's some of your favorite card designs that you've seen? And we can kind of talk about that as well. And if you're watching right now, hit that like button. Let's try and get to maybe 36 today. I don't know. Let's try and get to 36. But Damien, let's talk about some of these designs.
So yeah, there was only really 2 of the autos that I really liked. I mean, I think, as I said, the autos, the on-card autos, even the autos from last year, I liked. The base design wasn't too bad. A lot of horizontals, but this year I do like this autograph. Yeah, I think it does have a bit going on, but it did remind me of the. Oh, what was the? Sorry,
you had a stroke. I was like, no.
Yeah, yeah. It did remind me of the liquid silvers. That's what I was trying to think of.
Okay.
A little bit like in terms of the background geometrics we've got going on there.
Yeah,
my favorite one. Yeah, the line work is nice. As I said, it's pretty busy, but I think it all works together. I love the UFC logo as it is there, and as I said, even the KO badge at the bottom there, I think looks really good. But my favorite one is the same as last year, and that is, we've got another one here familiar, is this full contact. Now, if we didn't have Midnight, this does have a little bit of essence of Midnight, obviously, in there with the Matrix rain going on. But yeah, I actually really I think this is a really clean design. I'd be interested to see how these look in person. Not high bordering. I don't know what the shine's going to be like, but I just think this is a super clean design. As I said, the only thing I didn't like about it was the essence of Midnight that we have. But I really like the full contact autos of last year as well. I think they're a unique design, and I did like them. So this would be the card that I'd be looking out for any of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, these were two. Yeah, I completely agree. Those were probably my 2 favorite autos were these, and the exact reasons why you mentioned. I don't really need to go over those. I want to get back to the chat, and then I'll talk about 2 more. We got Down With That, who's saying, gotta stop buying and people don't do breaks to screw them over. He's mentioning the resale that people are charging for that. I mean, I understand, but whenever you're talking about a problem that's like this, it's very difficult to be organized. We would basically have to start like a union, right? It's like fighter pay. Everyone's like, yeah, but I got a box at what if you got a box from Topps at $229? Like, then what if you get a good deal on a box and then people have their PCs that they want to get? But it is definitely a big problem, man. And hopefully they can fix this in the future, because like you said, it's not good for collectors 100%. We got this Topps Inception from Mauricio Santos, and I liked this from previous year's design, so I'm really interested to see this one in person, man. I like to do the insert sets. If this one's looking good, maybe this is one that I try and complete from 2025. We'll see. Also, first card from Rufy. What are your thoughts on this one, and what do you think about just trying to chase him or people that want to buy his cards right now?
I mean, if you're trying to chase his cards and buy his cards right now, this is the one to obviously have, or not specifically maybe this Inception. I'm not sure what other checklist he's going to be in. We'll have to wait and see. But this card itself, I think, is absolutely terrible. I don't like the watercolor splashing going on. It makes no sense. Looks like he's stuck in a wave.
Yeah, it's like a wave, but it's also like computer, like a computer in the back too.
I don't like this card at all. And the thing that actually irks me as well is it's an Inception, but you can't even read that it's Inception because his fist is in the way of the text there.
Yeah. It's like Hookeption. It's like an H almost.
It doesn't even make any sense. But, to each their own. I'm sure there's people who are going to love this card. The only one thing I would like to say, I do like the KO UFC little the badging there on the right-hand corner. I think that looks cool. But other than that, this card is not for main event cards, that's for sure.
Awesome, man. And again, these are early, right? These are all early designs. Multiple times I've, covered the design and say I hate it. Then I see it in person. I'm like, this actually plays much better in hand. So, all just purely off of what we're seeing here, and thoughts can always change, right? This is another one that I saw, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on the Cerberus, dude, on the tri-head of these, and what are your thoughts on this design, dude?
Not for me again, as I said, but I do think there will be people who this will appeal to. So I'm not mad about that. I do like that there is options out there for different people. You know, I'm sure, like as I said, I think this looks weird, but I think there'll be a lot of people, because I can understand sometimes when I think particular sets or inserts look good for a design reason, other people will be like, that looks stupid. Like, I don't like that. But yeah, this will appeal to people. So I like the fact that people get options, you know. I think it's better to have options instead of buying something just to buy it. Like, there'll be someone who wants to buy this card and this is the card they want from Knockout. So that's good for them.
Yep. What about this, dude? What if I told you that this card was called the Collagiograph? Now do you want it? Because that's a sick name.
I can't even say that. That's a tongue twister. I don't want tongue twisters when I'm explaining cards. It's hard enough when you're explaining cards to people who don't know cards. Imagine trying to show off that one.
Yeah. All right, we got hey, if you're watching, hit that like button, dude. Hit that like button and show us some love. We got down with that with another comment. Petition for Topps instead of Union. We need how many signatures do we need, dude? 600 signatures to tell Topps to give us more product at the Topps release. What do we need? 2,000? What do you think? 5,000? That would actually be kind of fun. If you're watching and you want to be the guy who starts the movement, let's get a petition for Topps to release more products on their initial pre-order drop, because it needs to happen.
I'll talk to Megan this weekend. I'm sure Megan's got more pull than any of us, and we'll see what we can get done.
Nice, dude. All right, Damien, we're moving right along, man. We had another What's News. I'm just going to hit this again because I made it, and I want to use all of these graphics today. So we're hitting What's News one more time.
It looks good.
All right, and another What's News. Zhang Weili versus Bullet, dude. We're getting it, and this card is absolutely stacked. We've got JDM Islam for double champ. We've got Valentina and Magnum for double champ. We got my boy Leon Edwards fighting the fighting nerd Carlos Prates. He's gonna put it on Prates, man. You heard it here first. This card is stacked. I guess macro view. What do you think about this card? Are you hyped for it? And then we'll talk about Bullet Weili.
Definitely excited for this card. Obviously, those top 3 fights there are all ones that you want to be watching. The Weili Shevchenko fight is awesome. I'm really, really happy that we're finally getting that one. That is a woman's super fight, and obviously we're going to talk about that. But I think that plays big impact in terms of card pricing as well, which I think is exciting. And the JDM Islam Makhachev, I think, is also really, really exciting possibilities for both card pricing for both of those after that fight plays out as well. So excited for this event. Carlos Prates, if he gets a win over Leon Edwards, also very exciting for the welterweight division, and also exciting for people who have Carlos Prates cards if he wins. Leon Edwards, this is I'm not sure if, I don't know how this stands for old Rocky in terms of win-loss. Obviously, it's bad if he loses, doesn't look good. And if he wins, I don't know. Does he still shine? What do you think? As someone who likes Rocky, he's been following Rocky for a long time in his career, where he's at now, he's on a bit of a skid. Where do you think that if he gets a win over Pratos here, does he steal some shine? Does he get some relevancy back? Not only from UFC fandom, from a card pricing perspective as well.
For sure, he gets some shine back. And why I'm personally excited about this matchup is it's a striker versus striker matchup. I think Leon, is for sure the more well-rounded guy. I mean, he's taken down Kamaru Usman. He's taken down Colby Covington. He can do it all at the highest level. But this is the matchup. These are the type of matchups that I've been wanting to see from him in his whole championship run. And he basically only fought grapplers at the top, which was kind of frustrating because I really like to watch him strike. So I am very excited about this. Now, if he gets a dub, right, and I completely understand, and I kind of would echo the same sentiments as you. If he beats Prates, is he going to surge with his card pricing? Probably not. Now, he may get a little bump because he really is a guy that, is very, very low on the pricing scale. Like, people, for whatever reason, don't collect him. They don't really buy him, which is fine. But I think it can't really hurt, man. It can't really hurt. And I don't really care about that anymore with him because he's did what he's done, and he has a good legacy as a champ. But I am just excited to see him actually fight a striker, which we really have not seen. I mean, Brady, Colby, Kamaru, like almost all of his fights at the top have been against grapplers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bilal. So, like, I mean, that's a tough road for a guy that's main selling point, and what really got him to the dance is being a fun technical striker. So I'm excited to see Leon versus Prates. And my man, we finally get Bullet versus Weili. And I've been calling for this forever, dude. Like basically the past 8 months. As soon as Suarez got murdered by Weili, I was like, we have to see what she can do against Bullet, how that goes. And like matchup wise, you would think that Shevchenko is too big, too strong, but like Tatiana Suarez is huge for the weight class. Now, obviously she's not the same weight, right? But I am very excited to see how they match up together. And when you're talking about legacy fights, this is it, man. Like you're talking about, I mean, yeah, but besides like Harrison and maybe like Nunez Rousey, like have we ever seen two people with like this much accolade and this much like hype in their career go against each other in the women's division? Can you think of anybody?
I know coming into the Rousey fight, Holly Holm, although Rousey was at the complete top, like Holly Holm was pretty, you know, she coming from the kickboxing world, she was well known there. She was pretty hyped, but not to this, not like legacy versus legacy. Like Harrison, as I said, I wouldn't even argue Harrison is on this same level. Obviously, right. Nunez.
Agreed.
We've seen Nunez versus Shevchenko twice. I think that's probably the closest that we've had to this. But this, as I said, I think even ups that because of where both of these women are at with their career. Obviously, Shevchenko had a couple of those skids with the Grasso, but they were all very, very close fights. So I don't think that really hurts too much. And then Weili is just, you know, since that loss that she had to Rose, which was years ago now, has just gone from strength to strength, and she is one bad woman. And I'm like you, I'm actually super invested in this fight from not only a fan perspective, because this is a super fight. I know women's MMA gets a knock, but, you know, you watch Weili fight and she's incredible, man. She can do it all. And the sizing thing, as you said, like we've seen Weili pick up Francis Ngannou.
That video was crazy, man.
I'm pumped for this fight, and what I'm even really like half of my excitement is the legacy that this is going to give. I think the legacy is going to be more favorable for Weili. I think if Shevchenko wins, we're going to have that argument that she was bigger, Weili was coming up. Although to the most of the serious MMA fans, they're going to respect the win. But I think the advantage there and the biggest gain to be made is for Weili. And I would even argue that if Nunez, for some ever reason, I don't want to even speak about what that could happen in that fight with her and Harrison, but let's say the worst case scenario happens in that fight and Weili wins this fight, we could be looking at a leapfrogging potential for in terms of, you know, the women's GOAT. So, and, you know, you want to talk about it with some Weili cards soon, but I think I think there's big opportunity there.
Yeah, man, that's something I really hadn't considered, is that Weili, you know, we're crystal balling here. Who knows what's going to happen? Let's say Weili goes out there, gets a finish over Shevchenko, who is super tough and has not been finished many times in her career, gets a finish over Shevchenko, double champ, and maybe she goes back down, racks up 2 or 3 more title defenses. Dude, you're completely right. And then Nunez goes out there, crystal ball. Maybe she loses to Harrison, which I don't think would affect her legacy that much. But that is a conversation to be had. And that is why we're going to look at some of their cards, man, because I think these Weili prices are way too low. This is a 1/1 gold rookie, and this is her true rookie card right here. And, dude, look at this image, Damien. This image is sick. You got Weili just throwing the peace signs on you. Pretty fun. And now it is a horizontal design, kind of a minimal design, but I think it's a fun card for sure. And you're talking about 3,100 in 2023. What do you think about that price on this card?
2023, obviously, you know, we're even more like her best performances have come in the last 2 years. So, although it sort of is a little bit hindsight 2020 to say now, I think that is probably where that card maybe should have been at 2023. Although in saying that, rookie like pricing was higher in 2023 than what it is now as well. So I don't know, you got to take that into consideration. For 1,500, that is way too cheap. I know that's 2022. But that is hype of card pricing in general. So I think that is completely way underpriced.
Look at this one, dude.
400
of 8 in
bucks.
2022 for 400.
And
That, and it's a color match.
That card, yeah, man. I actually like that more than the 1-1, dude. That card looks sick. And this is the same image she has in her fireworks insert from 2021 Prism. And it's just such a cool image of her. I love that card too. I've seen that one a few times now, but yeah, these cards look good. The only thing, dude, if this had been vertical, I would have probably bought one by now, to be honest. But yeah, underpriced, especially now. I think that card now, if that 101, for example, was to sell in 2025 midway through September, I think that's got to be a 5 or 6K card, to be honest.
I mean, it's one of her best cards, right? You're talking about a true rookie, a 1 of 1. I mean, it is gold. And granted, there's not a lot of like shine here. Like you can see it kind of looks like more of a flat. It's not necessarily like a refractor finish, but a monster card, man, a monster card. And check this one out, Damien. I know you like this card, dude. We're talking about her first auto, man. And Damien, sneak peek. I got this card, dude. It's coming. It's in Austin. It'll be at the house soon. I got a PSA 10 silver Weili first auto to add to the display. Nasty, dude. Very nice card.
Yeah, beautiful, man. Congratulations.
Thanks,
Pick up PSA 10. Didn't miss on that one.
Yep. And I wanted to show that black, but both of these images won't show. So I mean, pretty big cards here. Now the black that's a lot. That's a 11,400, and that was in 2021, right? Which we know was like the most hype of the era. I don't know if we could see that price anymore. Now, if what we were speculating on earlier happens, maybe we see a price close to that. But I don't think that's necessarily in the realm of possibility. But she does have a huge fan base in China, man, and maybe there's some Chinese collectors that have big pockets and deep pockets, and maybe they'll spend it.
There is big money, big money. And as I said, I actually think regardless of where UFC cards are heading on trajectory, we talk about this all the time, where they'll be in 10, 15 years. I think, especially if you're looking at Chinese national pride fighters who already have established legacies like Weili, and we're putting her in the conversation of, top 3 women of all time already. Mm-hmm. I think these are solid. I'd say I even use the word. I'd be careful to use the word normally, but I think when you're talking about putting all these stars aligning, I think it's solid investment, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about it, right? It's like speculation is something that's volatile. It's something that can go up and down very quickly versus, an investment is something where you're planning in the future. And in my opinion, it's more like a blue chip stock, right? Like when you buy these crazy big companies, can they go down? Yes, but you're not going to see, drastic drops in their pricing. I kind of think that's where we are with these type of Hall of Fame, these type of like GOAT type of fighters where their pricing is kind of cemented. If they were to lose, I do think you could see a dip, obviously, but it's not going to drop 50% like you could see with some of these prospects that haven't proven anything. All right, let's get back to the chat, and then we'll keep it on rolling. We got J2. Should I sell my rookie BSD? Low numbers? That's up to you, man. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your cards, but it was a huge win. Do you believe in him? Is he a fan favorite of yours? Do you like to see him? Or are you just trying to make a quick flip? Those are all questions that you should be asking yourself. But right now is not a bad time to sell. I mean, he looked really good. He had a big win against a really hyped guy. So definitely something to think about. What do you think, Damien?
I don't know if it's ever a good time to sell BSD. We've seen him, I think the time to sell BSD.
Tell him about the personal vendetta you have with BSD too. I forgot about that.
Oh, dude, I actually forgot about that myself. Thanks for reminding me. I'd moved on in life. Now you're bringing up old trauma.
I'm sorry for bringing up old stuff, but we got to hear it.
Snub me in Miami, would not sign my poster that I got about 12 other fighters, including photos of half of them as well. BSD snubbed me, wouldn't sign my poster. Absolute jerk. He's lucky I don't ever catch him. It's on site when I see BSD next time. I tell you that right now.
Oh, but, man. We have his next opponent. Damien's his next opponent.
I'm at 155 tomorrow. I don't like BSD leading up to that Dustin fight. I think maybe when this card was bought, but yeah, that was the time to be selling. He's obviously had a bit of a skid, but in saying that too, I think he's 2 from his last 2 as well. As you said, hyped prospect, but he just took him to a place where he couldn't survive on the mat. So I don't think BSD's too relevant for people in the card space at the moment. I mean, we probably can't even get some Weili cards selling, let alone some BSDs. So
It's
It's just
fair.
the UFC, but you never know, man. If, as like Zach said, depends what you want to do. If you're a fan of BSD, you're probably better off to keep that card. If you're looking to flip it, just put it up on eBay, put your buy it now price, do not send it to auction. And if you get some bites, you get some bites. If you don't, then you've got nothing lost as well.
J2 says he loves your videos as well. And he says, BSD hate page starts now. And the founder of that is Damien over at Main Event Cards.
Join Discord.
Yep. Thanks for the comments, J2. Hey, if you're watching out there, if you're watching, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to 36. We are way behind, dude. We are way behind the 36 point. Can we get that? We got to throw a spinning elbow like Diego yesterday to get there because we are way down on the like totals.
Like I say, the viewers are checking in now. We're getting some viewers in, so we appreciate people stopping by. Thank you for those who are making it to the show. But yeah, we're a bit low there to start with, but it is Sunday afternoon, maybe sunny Sunday afternoon over in Austin, Texas, or depending what part of the States you are.
Hey, the NFL's on now, so people are out there and they're watching that American football, dude. But thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that like button, like I said earlier, and we'll get one more comment. Also, leave the comments if you're watching. Let us know what you're thinking, what's going down, what your thoughts are on these topics that we're talking about. And we have one more on the Weili and Shevchenko thought, and then we'll move on here. We got down with that. I don't think they are close to Valentina and Nunez in terms of title defenses, and that's where when we were like crystal balling, I completely agree. And I say she has to get the double champ right, and then she has to get two-ish, maybe three more title defenses to make it close. But getting a double champ is a big deal, Damien, and that's something that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Shevchenko has done that because Nunez was there to stuff her every time. Is that correct? Do you know about that?
When you are looking deeper into it, obviously, yeah, these are the MMA records that are going to sort of be the differentiating factors, I think, especially as we talk about the sport growing and then these cards growing in future years. I think collectors are going to get even more niche and more into their stats. I think UFC stats aren't even a given at the moment. As I said, if you look at UFC stats, who holds the records, Jim Miller holds like a good deal of them. Jim Miller cards sell for pennies. So, but I think those things will change over time as the sport ages and as the cards become older as well. So yeah, definitely a good point made by Dan with that, and echoing your sentiments, as you said. And that was something I didn't give thought to, but I completely agree to it as well. I think that stuff will make differences.
Yeah, and we're talking about like splitting hairs, right? Like all of these athletes are amazing, but when it's the GOAT conversation, Damien, you really got to get into the nitty gritty. You got to put, you got to weigh all the options, weigh all the accolades, and then make that decision. We got Peter Anderson. I'd rather watch this for 12 hours nonstop than football nowadays. You are the man, Peter Anderson. I appreciate you for gassing us up, dude. Pouring a little bit in the gas tank. And thanks to everybody who's watching. 12 hours. Oh, easy, man. Give me some food. Give me a little bit of coffee, maybe a protein shake. I could hit 12 hours with Damien. Now, the question is, we would have one viewer, and the viewer's eyes and ears would be bleeding at the end of that episode, but it would be a good time.
We'll have to try one time.
Yep. One of those marathon streams.
Marathon lives, yeah.
My wife is just bringing food in while we're...
Should we do it for the White House card? Ooh, agree or disagree.
Yeah, right. We'll get a couple more comments here, and then we'll move on to the next topic. We got Keyboard Warrior, great name. If people don't realize by now, anything can happen in a fight, so it's not smart to bank on any fighter if a loss makes their cards drop. That's why, man, on this show, me and Damien are very risk averse whenever we're talking about prospecting, and you got to be careful with those unproven rookies, man. Completely agree. Watch it. Now, I understand you want to dabble here and there. You find some deals, lower mid-end stuff, fine. But when you're talking about big money cards, unless you have those deep pockets, be careful.
I agree. And completely too, like, I think it's personally fun. I think that's a part of the sort of hobby that I personally find fun. But when I'm doing it, you're not spending even $100. Like, sometimes you can find a $20 card of someone who you think could have some upside, and then, get the right result, and maybe it just becomes a $40 card or a $50 card. But yeah, definitely risk adverse to that as well. But I think there is room for it, but I completely agree. If you're wrong, you are definitely
You're very wrong. You're very wrong.
Yeah, it's very hard to get out of the red of that situation. So people need to keep that in mind for sure, because MMA is that sport where a loss is is a long time. It sits with the fans a long time. They don't get the next week to prove themselves again or change or so yeah. You got to be careful of that stuff when it comes to MMA cards for sure.
We got Musical Medicine TV. Weili's going to be the GOAT. I hope so, man. She's been one of my favorites to watch over the last 5+ years.
Paper Nunes. Don't be silly, Zach.
Hey, either one of those girls would be amazing. I really like watching them fight. We got Brandon Hill. I don't recognize that name, so what's up, Brandon? Great show. Thanks for watching, dude.
Thank you, Brandon.
Hey, we're up. Those likes are starting to hit now. So I appreciate y'all out there if you're watching for hitting that like button. All right, we're going to move on to the next segment. And again, once I hit this button right here, you guys need to also put in the comments, right? Put in the comments. We want to answer y'all's question. Roll it. It's the viewer questions, Damien, and we love them. And we got a fun one.
We have a fun one. Is CT watching? CT, get in the comments if you're watching right now. I need to talk to you, brother.
Okay, everybody.
Need to improve your English.
we got a viewer question from CTMMA, and this is his question, and I had to do a little bit of deciphering here, a little bit of deciphering, but we got CT's, which is a great question. So thanks for putting this in. We got Dear Damien and Zach. Why isn't a best of UFC collection singular or plural? Rising atop your background collection shelves, ? We see it basketball and football holding the high shelves, ? Is this analytics at play? So I did a little deciphering, and I think basically CT was asking, like, why are your cards displayed the way they are? Talk me through your decision making when it comes to displaying your cards. So I think that's what CT was asking there. So Damien, I know right now your display, you just moved, you're back in the land down under, and you're kind of, reorganizing all your stuff and getting your display set up. So what do you think about when you're displaying your stuff? Is there like an order you like to put it in? Kind of talk us through your thought process.
So yeah, previously I'm moving around offices here at the moment. So I'm moving desks around and stuff like that, displays around. So I don't have my display up currently, but previously I did have this is my backdrop. This is a window sill. I did have all my CGC cards graded here, and they were numerical order. So from highest grade to lowest grade. Obviously they're mixed sports as well. Didn't matter on terms of order of sports. It was order of grade. So from 10 all the way down, I think the lowest I have is a 7. So that's how I displayed them. I do have some Beckett graded cards, my more, I guess, prize collections pieces, but I haven't sort of figured out. Ideally, I'd love like a black display cabinet, like with the glass shelves, with the lighting backdrop, and I'd like one shelf with all CGC and then the shelf above it with all Beckett graded cards. Ideally, that's how I'd like to have it. I want to have the jerseys I had hanging up here as well. Ideally, I want to get them framed. The biggest problem I have, which I've mentioned about 5 times now, is this is a rental. I don't own this place. I can't just go putting hooks on walls wherever I want as much as I'd love to. I've got signed posters from both UFC and also WWE that I'd love to have displayed as well. But same thing, like I can't just go putting hooks and posters and jerseys everywhere.
That's why the US of A is the best country on earth, baby. You got a rental, put all the holes in you want. You got that security deposit down payment, and you could just spackle over that. I know you're a handyman, Damien. I know you're a handyman. You could spackle that drywall, no problem, dude. Paint over it, and you're good.
Do you not get inspections? We have quarterly inspections, so we have the.
Oh wow!
So we get either the owner can join along as well, but we also have the property agent. They come through and they do inspections. So if they see that you've got stuff hanging up on the walls, it's not so easy to then just spackle over end of tenancy because they know that they're there.
We look down with that, dude. Check it. Sticker hooks, Damien. Boom, baby, and it's solved.
Don't trust them down with that. I've used sticker hooks one time, and when I had to take them off, pulled paint off, pulled render off as well. That was a nightmare to fix. Yeah, man. Bad experience with sticker hooks. But I appreciate you down with that, trying to look after me.
We got Manny. What's up, y'all? What a main event last night. Right, boys? So much fun. Dude, the maybe the best 2 rounds of the year. I still got Royval Van as fight of the year for me personally, but the 2 rounds were chaos. They were hectic. I thought the fight was over basically 3 different times. So you cannot beat that, man. Cannot beat that.
Yeah, I think also too, if you take event biasy into that, like being no show, being UFC no show, being the main event, I think that one's probably going to be hard to beat for sure.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're talking about displays, and so I kind of wanted to take a pic, kind of show y'all my thought process here. We'll start up top just because it's quick. So this is basically the only football card that I have, the only big football card anyway. Patrick Mahomes rookie. They're actually. The Chiefs are playing right now. They're playing right now. That's how much I love this channel and love talking to you, Damien. Damien, we're not going to be able to chat as much as we normally do once we're off because I got to watch that game, man. I got to watch the finish of that game. But we got this here, so I wanted to kind of give it its own little place. I also wanted to display a set, right? And so I found the E-Topps set, 2009 E-Topps. Really interesting story, really nice cards. This picture doesn't really do them justice, but I got the E-Topps set displayed here, and I just kind of went with the line. But you can also do interesting things with these little displays, and you can like organize them in different squares. You can organize them off center, so kind of an interesting display there. And then as far as cards go, this question really made me kind of look at my display and reorder them in a way that I wanted. I went through a couple of different iterations with this display, right? I went through organizing them like by fighter. Like I had like John Jones, and then I had this other John Jones rookie, and then I had the Hoises together, and I had all my Leons together. But then I was like, let me do it kind of like how my brain works. And I was like, let me order it by my favorite cards. And so I basically started with all my favorite cards from here going to the right and all the way over. And then I'm just going to do that from now on. I'm going to go all the way down. I have a little hole here because like my head blocks it. And so right now I don't have enough awesome cards to fill the display. So I kind of have a hole from where my head blocks the display case in the back. And we're coming down. Got some customs right here. Matty Mac made this one, which is awesome. Bloody Knuckles gave me this one whenever I had to order. Got some Star Wars. Got some Jeremy Sohan and some Spurs cards. And then a Von Miller card that I bought for my wife. She's a huge Broncos fan. She's looked at this card like 2 times. She doesn't appreciate it. She's like, why did you? She's like, this is cool, but you bought this for me? Like, I don't get it. So that's kind of hilarious. But yeah, that's kind of how we got the display set up. And I'm curious, people out there watching, how do you display your cards? Because this is really a unique thing I bet everyone has a different, they visually, they like to display it differently, as well as like, you could go a million different ways of how you want to put your cards up. You could go by timeline, from date of print or date of fighter. Like there's a ton of different ways. So how do you guys do that out there? And also, if you're watching and you have questions, hit us up with the questions right now and we will get to them in a future episode. Shout out to David BJJ. Your question's on deck, buddy. We're going to get to that in the next collab, the week before the next pay-per-view, and we're going to hit that one up, and that's a good one as well.
Yeah, definitely a good call to action. People hit us up on Instagram, tag us in your story, show us your setups. That's a good way for people to show us, I think.
Yeah.
And obviously just spreading your collection in general and, putting your collection out to the community, something you can be proud of. Regardless of how it looks or what sort of setup you got, you should be proud of it. So nice to, show the people. And Zach and I would definitely love for you to tag us on Instagram as well and show us off. How do you display doesn't have to always be UFC. Obviously, Zach's talked about there. He's got different stuff. I've got different stuff as well. So we'd love to see your collections.
J2, you're a Timmy fan? Let's go. I am a Tim Duncan fan, dude. Tim Duncan is he was my childhood hero growing up, man. I'm a basketball player. That's what I still do. And by the way, let me do this for y'all real quick. Recently won this medal, dude. Our team, our Austin Firefighter Olympics, all for Texas. We had Houston there. We had Dallas there. We had Fort Worth there. We had some other smaller departments, 12 teams. And we won it, baby. Your boys won it for the 2025 Firefighter Olympics basketball.
Good stuff, man. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Back out there. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Also, hit that like button, dude. We're getting closer, but we're still not there. 36 is the goal. We got to try and hit this, man. We got to try and hit that 36. Let's get back to the chat, and then we'll come back for the White House conversation, and that's going to be a good one. You guys are going to want to be here for that. All right, let's see. What do we got? We got down with that. Do you put in numbers like 101 to a 10 in SGC or just the numbers on the back? I've never graded. Also, Damien's video put me off PSA. Damien, you're out there trashing PSA, dude. That's a video I need to watch. Everybody go and open a tab with Damien's video. He's out there with the hater hat on, and I like to watch those videos.
I got another one that trashes PSA coming up. I think it's about in a week's time. That's already scheduled and loaded up. So I got a mail day return with some round one cards that are just despicable grading, so people can hang out for that one. Another one where I shit on PSA. I think PSA sucks. Won't ever send them a card again is the summary of that. But putting me in order, no, it's not really serial numbered order. It's literally ordered of the grade. So and then by doing that, I do what Zach does a little bit as well in terms of what he did do before. I put them in fighters. So, for example, if I've got 4 graded cards that are all of CGC 9s, for example, for Sean O'Malley, I'll put them all next to each other. And then say I've got 4 Max Holloway CGC cards that are 9s, then I'll put them all in order after. I'm not blending the fighters together with the grade. So it is very much organized by grade and then per athlete, for example.
Nice, dude. Yeah, a billion different ways you could organize your display, and I think I've already went through like 3 or 4 different iterations of, you know, like having things in different orders for different reasons. So super interesting and super fun. We got Peter Anderson, last comment, and then we'll move on. I'm starting for Houston Fire next month. I'll see you on the court. Peter, when you're at the tournament, dude, you got to find me and we'll hang out and talk cards real quick. And then we're going to beat that butt on the court and we're going to get the gold again, coming back where it belongs in our city. All right. Let's talk about this one, man. And this one is agree or disagree. Let's try the graphic. I think we're 3 for 3 already. Let's see.
Agree or disagree?
That is the question. Nice, dude. All right. So everything's working good. And Damien, agree or disagree this week? It's going to be about the White House event. And let me show a little blurbs before we get into the actual statement and into the little topic there. But the White House fight is on. Dana White and Donald Trump sealed the deal for the UFC at America's 250th anniversary DC Bash. It is going to be on July 4th in 2026. We have a little bit more details on it just to kind of paint a bigger picture, and I'll go through that real quick. So there is a park connected to the White House. We could put 85,000 people over there with screens. We're going to put a big stage, do concerts. We're going to take over Washington, D.C. that whole week. No fights have been announced for the card, but it's going to be July 4th. And then he trashes. He has to trash John, right? He says, White says there's a 1,000,000,000 chance Jones competes at the event. So pretty hilarious that he has to trash Jones a little bit there. So Damien, the question in the statement for this week is going to be, the White House event will be the most publicized UFC event of all time. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
100% agree. And there's a lot of factors that go into this when we are thinking about why it would be the most publicized event of all time. Obviously, I think the Khabib and Conor has the most previously with 2 million pay-per-view buyers and then plus whatever streaming you want to put on top of that. But I do think if you take in consideration the new Paramount deal, the fact that this is such a circus event from the UFC, normally UFC are all about, you know, making the money, but I think they would happily lose money, spare no expense pay. We saw it with the Noche event last year. Obviously, no idea how much that costs, but I think that'll probably be pennies compared to what they put on here at the White House next year. With everything considered, as I said, the Paramount deal, the access that people are going to have to actually watch this, the freak show circus that the UFC are going to make it. Obviously, we just heard it too. They're going to have concerts. They're going to have
the whole week. He said they're going to be doing stuff the whole week.
Massive artists. The exposure that even artists are probably going to want to be here, be like Super Bowl halftime show. They're going to want to probably be there playing for free because of the exposure they're going to be getting. This is easily going to be the biggest event of the UFC's calendar so far to date.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear if you have I agree with this. I think this is going to be the biggest one by far. If you have a differing opinion and you know, maybe that you don't think this is that big of a deal, I'd be curious to hear your reasoning on why. Damien, dude, this is, you know, we're getting Paramount in 2026, right? And I think that they are really going to blow the doors off on this event in particular, because they just got that new Paramount deal. I think they're going to really try and snowball this and have a really big showing, a really nice event. I think they're going to stack this card too. I think this is going to be, you know, we had UFC 300 and we were like, how is Yuri and Rakic on the prelims? Like, that does not even make sense. I think it's going to be that type of situation where every single matchup is absolutely insane. We're going to be getting fights that would, you know, headline the Apex that are going to be on the prelims. It's going to be such a good time, man. I'm really excited. And we saw how much money and effort went into the Sphere event, right? And it was really cool. I loved it. The spectacle, the creativity, all of that. This event is going to be way bigger than that. And also, I'm going to say, I usually don't speak in absolutes, but we are never going to see this again, because we have a president right now, love him or hate him, he is extremely unique. And I do not think any other president would ever do this. So I don't think we will ever see this again. This is going to be a one-off. And Damian, you know, when it comes to one-off and collecting, like that's it. And I really think we may even get some cards surrounding this event that are going to be really sick. If Topps doesn't have all the photographers there to try and capture shots from these, I just give up. I give up with Topps completely. But yeah, man, not only do I think the quality is going to be insane with like the fights, but also the stages, the entrances, like you were saying, the musical acts. He said a whole week. Who knows what's going to be happening there a whole week? But dude, it's going to be absolutely insane. I'm so excited for this event. Also, we kind of glazed over the July 4th thing, but like, just to put it into perspective for anybody that's, you know, like a international watcher, a foreign watcher, that's a massive holiday. It's like you only have a couple more that are bigger than July 4th for us Americans. We got like Christmas, Thanksgiving, maybe Halloween, maybe New Year's, and then like July 4th is right in there with all the biggest holidays. People are going to be barbecuing. I'm going to be making some hot dogs, some hamburgers, dude. Maybe have, you know, the nephews over, the family. Hopefully I don't have to work, because dumpster fires are always super annoying on July 4th from all the fireworks. So I'm going to try and take that off so I can watch this event. But dude, it's going to be so much fun. I am very excited that this is legitimately happening.
Yeah, man. As I said, it's got all the makings for it, regardless of what you want to think, how it's come together, why it's come together. It doesn't matter now, it is happening. And I think it'll be one of those events, as you said, that is going to be historical for sure, for not only because it's at the White House, but because of where the UFC is at as a sport, where it's going to be. And we're obviously talking another 10 months away. So it's going to be even harder to take a grasp of where the UFC will be as a sport, the events we're going to have leading up to that, the events they're going to put on. And as I completely agree, there's no other way without Donald Trump and that this fight would ever happen. Mm-hmm. So obviously the relationship between Donald Trump and Dana White is what's made this happen. And that's also why I think UFC as a sport, we talked about it being so international, it can be so streamlined now, because there's sort of no visas that can be denied or anything now. Like, yeah, there's too much possibility for this to happen and for it to not be the biggest event that UFC has ever had.
Yeah, man. Okay, Damian. So what was it, like 4 months ago we first talked about this when it first came out, maybe 3 months ago, and we were shooting around the idea who's going to be on the card. And Damian, we were freaking right on the money, dude. Check out these names right here. We got McGregor, and this is from Google's AI. So maybe we're AI, Damian. Maybe you and me are artificially. Well, are we here? Is this a simulation?
This is simulation, brother. I'm telling you. We don't have time to talk about that.
And we got McGregor potentially fighting with Diaz. You had called that one. That's you said that's the one that you want to see. That's the one you have to make. Everybody out there watching, after you hit that like button, who would you want to see at the White House event? Because I think we'd probably get some interesting matchups. And then we have John Jones potentially fighting Aspinall, Alex Pereira, Francis Ngannou. There's no way he fights Francis Ngannou. Gemini AI, what are you thinking, dude? That is not going to happen. We got Kayla Harrison, Bo Nickel, Sean Strickland. Do they do Kayla Harrison versus Nunez super fight at this? Because I don't think have they already gotten announced with a date yet?
No.
They're doing it. They're doing it here then.
Yeah, probably, because I think Nunez, she would be smart enough to take it. Like, oh, she's been retired, living the family life, so you would want a good 12 months to take on the biggest fight of your career potentially. We
got Bo Nickel on here, American. We got Sean Strickland, and Colby Covington has to be on the other fighters list here. Like
I was going to say, is it not? Is
How
not
is
the
it
most
not on
American
there?
fight you can make is Sean
Yeah.
Strickland versus Colby Covington? Is that not the most American fight we could have?
Gosh, dude, those guys, man, those guys are insane. I think this is me, right? If I'm the matchmaker, I want it to be like almost like USA versus the world. I want to have all the different fighters out there,
Okay.
and I want America versus somebody else. That's how I would market it. But I completely agree. Those guys are as America as it gets right there. But yeah, man,
That's actually true. That's a good point. I bet you they would market it that because they are, of course, with the circus of this, they're gonna bring in a very new fan base, new watchers. And if you, of all days, on America's birthday, you want to make America look like the greatest country on earth, so we might just get all American fighters versus absolute bums. We might not get no super fights. This all might just be Americans versus. This might be bum fights versus UFC fights.
yeah. I mean, you definitely you have to get some America victories, right? You don't. I don't think you have to, but I think that would be the most fun way to market it. Every fight, the crowd, USA, you're just chanting USA the whole time. You got the flag in the back. The White House is looking all white. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy, dude. I'm excited, and we'll see what happens. Like you're saying, it's potentially a long time from now, so a lot is gonna change in the landscape. Hopefully, the Paramount Plus transition goes smooth, and we get some fun fights leading up to that. What else, Damien? What else you want to talk about, man? We're gonna go to the chat and then we'll probably just hang out for a little bit and then call it for this episode.
Yeah, no, I did want to. Obviously, you were mentioning about it before, but I do definitely think of those two athletes. If we're talking about Conor McGregor versus John Jones, who could potentially, be main eventing that card. I agree. Dana's already said it publicly, but it makes sense. I don't think he can trust John Jones. So I don't think he puts John Jones down on this card, to be completely honest, because he's sort of severed the relationship now. As much as John Jones was Dana White's favorite fighter for the longest time, I think there is some animosity there now, and there has been a history of John Jones sort of ruining big events. We've seen it before. UFC 200, for example, was one that stands out. But I don't think he could be trusted to get this card done. And when you are talking about the magnitude of this card, you can't have anyone on the main card pulling out. So as I said, as much as Conor McGregor doesn't look like the reliable type, unfortunately, if you're putting him up against John Jones, I think he's more reliable at this point. So, which is a crazy thing to say. That's absolutely
that's
crazy.
wild, bro. Agree or disagree on that? that deserves its own segment.
But yeah, no. As I said, like regardless of those two, I don't think John Jones gets a look in for sure. As I said, I think that's not only been said publicly by Dana, but makes a lot of sense from my perspective as well.
I think
but
it's
not much going on.
I think it's all bargaining, dude. I think it's just a strategic play from Dana to try and make Jones think that it's not possible so that he'll take a lower amount. There's no way business-wise Dana would not want John Jones, one of the greatest fighters of all time, on this card. And I could be wrong, but I want to say that Jones brings in very solid, even recently brings in like pretty good pay-per-view numbers, pretty good eyeballs. And if you're even a somewhat casual fan, you know who John Jones is. So I think that's a little disingenuous when Dana was saying that. And I think it's kind of gamesmanship of him just like playing the bargaining game.
Yeah, we'll save that for another time. Well, I don't think so. I think honestly, I think John Jones has let that company down too many times, whether it be pulling out of fights or with controversies. It's just not a good look. And as I said, you can't have that we just agreed it's the biggest event the UFC are going to have. So you can't be putting someone who's been proven to be unreliable at the top of that card. That's just my thoughts. Otherwise, no, videos, obviously been pumping them out as much as I can too. So I'm going to go hard till the end of the year and see what happens after that. But I've been enjoying making content. I've got some fun ones coming up as well that are already in the YouTube bank, ready to go. So appreciate anyone who gets over to my channel, gives me a watch as well, gives me some support. It is always appreciated. So thank you, everyone.
Yes, sir, Damien, making some fun videos over there and pumping them out. A lot of content, man. If you like UFC cards, go follow Damien. You're going to get different topics. You're going to get fun topics. And, there's still not that much out there when it comes to content online. You, J Money, we got Matt, I mean, we got RV and Knack. There's a couple guys, but like comparatively still not that much. So if you guys want more videos and you want different topics, you know, give all these guys follows. We got Cloudsy out there as well. Shout out to him. We got Jem with an interesting comment, which we could probably touch on. And then we'll hit a couple more comments if they come in, and then we'll probably be out for today. I intentionally sent a card to PSA with dinged corners. Was a Shavkat of 25. The card had multiple issues and it somehow came back a 10. I can even show you pictures. Damien, what do you think about that, dude? Because I've had that exact same thing happen. I sent in a 2011 Finest Dustin Poirier rookie, and it had multiple surface issues. I thought it would get a 9, and that's kind of what I was hoping. And it came back a gem in 10. I was like, how did that happen? So I've had that happen as well. I'm sure most people have had that happen where they were surprised when they got a 10. So put that hater hat. You know, maybe it comes back on here. Who knows? PSA, what's going on?
Yeah, definitely. I've had the exact same experience. I had that GSP 2012 Finest Bloodlines insert that I looked over myself, personally graded it an 8, absolute 9 at best. Had surface scratches, got a 10. So worked that out. And there was no Kurt's jizz or anything I put on that. I don't do any of that sort of stuff.
He doesn't jizz his cards, all right?
I thought I liked that card, and I thought even at 8 or 9, like it was the gold parallel to 88, so it did have some sort of like benefit to getting that graded still, even at an 8, because it was a beautiful card, still relatively limited, but come a 10. So yeah, work that out. And I've had other cards I send to PSA that look mini that I can't see anything wrong, and it comes back a 7. So I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, Zach.
It's a crapshoot over there. And I hate even thinking about this because I got to order through GameStop that's at PSA right now. So this makes me nervous on what...
You are part of the problem. Shame on you.
Hey, man, the red on red looks really good. And basically all the cards in that have the red on red. So
now, you know what they do with GameStop, though? They just chuck those things in an envelope. They don't even fill out any of the forms. So it takes the researchers in the PSA department longer.
Yep.
So that's why, like, I've got cards that I'd sent away like 4 or 5 months ago that still haven't popped yet. So I don't know what they're doing. They're all just, yeah. Anyway, watch that video that I did. It was a reaction to an interview of someone else's video. But yeah, I explain why I think that PSA is a crap show.
Yeah, man. I honestly was a little hesitant. I wanted to do GameStop because it is like so convenient. Sending through them, it was very easy. It was very convenient. It actually was a pretty good deal as well. It was like, I think it was $22 per card, but it was, you know, you don't have to pay, I think it was $3 for shipping, and you don't have to do any of that. Also, they usually get it back faster than a normal return. So kind of an interesting process. But yeah, you don't fill out any of the forms. So like I put in a in-person auto Bruce Buffer, right? And so like I just wanted to get it authenticated. I have no idea what they're going to do with that card. Are they going to grade it? Are they going to get it authenticated? I don't even know. Do they even authenticate those? I don't know. It's
probably
like
get no auto grade and probably get a gem mint 10 on the card. Yeah,
yeah. Like who knows what's going to happen? It is a little scary in that aspect, and that's definitely true.
But yeah, I've done a recent submission with I first time ever, and this is hard for me because obviously from Australia to the States, it's much more convenient and easier for me to grade with PSA, but I refuse to do it now. I sent 5 round 1 cards off to SGC for the first time, so I'm done with PSA. Honestly,
SGC
I know SGC is owned by collectors. It's owned by PSA technically anyway, so it's not like the biggest win, but still, like, yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
I enjoyed my SGC send off. I thought most of the grades were very fair. They're also like much more stringent with their grades, so I think that I would take those grades with more certainty than I would with PSA. Like I got a lot of 9.5s on really clean cards, and I think I only got 1 or 2 10s. But like, you know, with PSA, like we were saying earlier, like a lot of them are not really 10s. Like it just kind of weird pop report. People are cracking them and sending them just to flip, so like it inflates those numbers. Lot of weird stuff, man, when it comes to grading. We got Peter with a good question here. I'm working on my PC. I have a Lorenzo, Frank, and Dana auto. The Lorenzo is Beckett, and the other 2 are Raw. These will be a PC collection. Should I go Beckett just so they all match? PSA? Question mark. What are your thoughts there, Damien?
Yeah, this is definitely individual. I think Zach, this will be the first thing you'd say as well. Very individual. If they're PC, it's only you who can decide how you want them to look, what you prioritize in terms of putting your collection together. But if you're asking me, if one card's with Beckett, and I like Beckett. There's no card company that don't have their flaws. Beckett is no exception. But if we're talking about graded slabs, I like Beckett the best. I think they look the best. They look like they're a museum piece. The detail they have in their labels, the actual feel of the slab itself, the encasement, it just feels very pristine. I love Beckett, so I'm biased towards them anyway. But what I was saying, you want to have that continuity in your collection for me. So I would want to have, if I've got one thing graded, when we are talking about those three, is the history of MMA, Dana, the Relenzo, Fertitta. You want to have them all in the same slab if you're asking me, but definitely very personal. So something that you can only answer for yourself.
Yeah, great answer. I don't have anything to add to that. Completely agree. Everybody, if you're watching, thank you so much for watching. Me and Damien always love doing these videos. Go subscribe to Damien over on his channel. If you haven't yet, hit that like button. We are at 17. We're getting closer to that 36 number that we want to hit. Appreciate you guys all for watching. Damien, we'll be doing the next one before UFC 321, right? And so that'll be like 2-ish weeks. It'll be on my channel.
Yeah, we didn't mention. So this is out of the ordinary. Zach and I basically got together after our last collab, because normally we go Card Collab live, and then we switch over between channel to channel every month. But basically what happened was we did the last live and we looked at the UFC calendar, and it was like 5 weeks away from the next event, and we sort of thought that was a little bit too long to sort of all get together. So this was just a preemptive live, bit spontaneous to get it together, and we'll be back over on Zach's channel for leading into next pay-per-view, and then we'll be back to the regular scheduling after that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, dude. This really was. This was like
we never talked about it.
No, we did. It was like there's basically a month gap between shows. It's like, do you want to just do one, Damien? He's like, yeah, man, let's do one. So we kind of scheduled it out. I'm glad we decided to do it. These are always fun. Love doing them. Love talking to you guys in the chat. Love getting to hang with Damien, my boy over there down under in Australia. And thanks everybody for watching. Go sub to Damien, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, everybody. See you in a few.